Okay, I'm gonna check to be sure we are live. Sometimes we run into problems with that.
No problem.
Okay, I can see we're live. All right, welcome. Excuse me. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Techies 15 Live by Immigrant Techies Network. This is our weekly water cooler moment, you can call it, where we get to feel the pulse of the community. Um, we like to bring in people that are building solutions, that are doing work in the community, that are building product or solving one problem or the other. So on this show, we have all kinds of very cool guests. And our cool guest today is Abdul. Abdul from Aurrin Ventures. Welcome, Abdul.
Thank you so much for having me, Wunmi.
Yeah, so this is just 15 minutes. We know that we can exhaust all that we can possibly know about Abdul and what he's up to in 15 minutes. So this podcast is more like a conversation starter, and we hope that you connect with Abdul after the event if you want to learn more. So yeah, Abdul, can we meet you a little bit about yourself before we talk about your venture? What has your journey been like? Why are you
Yeah,
here? Mhm.
yeah. So actually, I've always been a big fan of software. Like I started learning how to code in grade nine, and I didn't really pay much attention to it, but I'd always learn a bit more year after year. And when the opportunity came in university to do some internships, it was the same thing. I worked with some software startups. So I was always honing my skills, always learning more about software. Although, I was a science student, it wasn't really what I was learning about.
What did
Uh,
you study?
I studied science, so neuroscience at the University of Alberta,
Mm-hmm.
and I was very passionate about biology, but I've always been a bit of an entrepreneur. And what I loved with learning software is like I can make something and show it to people, and it is actually useful. Like if you want to do something in a lab, it takes so long. It's like it's months of experiments and research.
Mm-hmm.
I want to build something and be able to show it to the world. So I've always sort of had that entrepreneurial mindset and always wanted to start my own thing. Um, so now I'm sort of working in a different industry again, commercial real
Mm-hmm.
estate.
And what's
But
your okay, sorry, fit that thought.
oh no, no, you can ask me the question.
No, I was just gonna ask that what's your immigrant journey like? What did you do back home? Did it translate directly to what you're doing now? Or how much have you had to evolve and reinvent
Yes.
yourself?
So I've actually been in Canada for a while. We immigrated in 2007 from Nigeria. So I was really young. So
Okay.
I spent a lot of time growing up here, sort of learning the culture, but always having that connection back home. I was back home a couple years ago as well. Talk to my family back home all the time. But then you sort of just you learn how things work in Canada, and it kind of blends in together.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so
Do you think your journey as someone that came here at a young age, when you compare it with people that come here as adults, what have you seen that's different?
my accent is different. But yeah, you sort of and my parents they always talk about this too. You sort of start to think more like a Canadian in some aspects,
Mm-hmm.
and you adjust that way. So
And your
it's
career, would you say your career took a better trajectory than for those that came here as adults?
I wouldn't say necessarily. I've got some good friends that immigrated here but they came here for their university studies and they're also doing
Mm-hmm.
really well. I think the biggest thing is you have to put yourself out there. Whether
Mm-hmm.
you're an immigrant or you're not an immigrant, it's only some people that will really get out there and meet lots of people. And I think that's what, helps accelerate the career.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
And here you are building solutions for other people. So tell us more. Tell us a little bit more about Aurrin Ventures. What is Aurrin Ventures and what problem are you trying to solve?
Yeah, so I've been going to a lot of Tech Thursday events this past year, and at one of the Tech Thursdays, Philip was talking about the fact that there's 100,000 less entrepreneurs in Canada compared to like 20 years ago. And a lot of the places I go to and the entrepreneurs I talk to, a big issue is, you know, okay, people don't take enough risks here in terms of giving capital and in terms of giving funding. And sometimes you need that funding, those industry connections at an early stage to take the leap of faith and start an idea or a company just for a bit more support. So the idea was, can we build something that's grassroots? We'll start small. We're not trying to deploy $100 million in the beginning. We'll start small and we'll try and make an impact right now. And that's sort of where the idea of Aurrin Ventures came out. We're microgrants VC. Um, what matters more to us is not we're going to put $1 million in an idea. We'll give you a bit of money, 500 to $1,000. We're going to provide you with support in meeting people in industry. We're going to give you a location, a community of people who are also trying to build ideas so you can share what you're doing, you can talk to one another, and like you're not doing it alone because um,
Mm-hmm.
even me just starting this thing or inventions, sometimes it's like, was I right to even try this idea? Do people care? You're messaging people about this, you're not getting responses, you're getting ignored. I think that's the life of an entrepreneur. So, sort of, we understand what that's like. We're trying to smooth the trail. Not every business is going to succeed. That's the life of it. But we want to give people an environment where, okay, we'll give you a bit of money, we'll give you the opportunity to pitch your idea. You learn a bit about what it's like because sometimes it's not your first idea that takes off. It might be your fifth, it might be your third, it might be your eighth. So we're kind of giving you the opportunity to try your first idea
Mm-hmm.
and maybe your second. And it's very, very relaxed environment.
Yeah, so I can speak specifically to the Alberta innovation ecosystem. There
Yeah.
are a lot of supports, a lot of innovation, incubators, accelerators, and business support programs. So my question is, what gap did you find in the system that you're trying to fill? Who's been left behind? What loops are not closing? What gap did you see that the existing solutions are not working for?
I think it is the extremely early stage companies. I think there's support once you get a bit of traction, when people are sort of interested in the idea you have. Um, there's some groups that are doing stuff similar to us. Like I'd say Techstars. I don't know if you've heard of them, but they host an event where it's like a 3-day weekend, and you pitch on an idea, you get put in a team together. So we just want to establish a more regular cadence of that. Like Techstars, I think they have 2 events a year. We want to have our events monthly. So once again, relaxed environment for you to bring an idea that's not fully formed necessarily. It can be formed, but it doesn't have to be. And you get the opportunity to get a taste of what entrepreneurship is like, even if you don't have everything else finalized. This is really an environment for very, very early stage entrepreneurs to get the opportunity to, you know, get a taste of what it's like
So
to
you're
have to
talking
prove their idea.
you're talking what do we call this? Events that like hackathon like events?
Exactly. Hackathon
Mm-hmm.
like events, but we're giving it a little more juice. And we're also just establishing a regular cadence. Like we're gonna meet on a monthly basis. You'll get the chance to talk about your ideas, and we'll also provide a bit of funding to, you know, to some groups to sort of let them
And
get started.
do you have a specific target group? So other than being very early stage founder, what else? What else are you looking at?
So we haven't narrowed down our scope yet. We're having our first event actually this week, and we're sort of just seeing how things go. We're going to see the kind of groups that we meet at the event. And I think over the next couple of months, we're going to start to narrow the scope because, some groups will only target companies in the life sciences or tech companies. I think for now we're leaving it open-ended, but over the next couple of months, the hope is we start to narrow our focus.
And how have you, because especially in the innovation ecosystem, you want to make sure that you're following a solid design process when you bring anything together. So the same mindset you use for software product development. I mean, in what we do, we use that same mindset for program development, for service delivery opportunity. So how have you tested this? What traction, what market validation do you have? What made you think this is a need? So you did cite some statistics, but have you talked to people that said, "Oh wow, this is what I've been looking for. This will make a huge difference for me." And
So
yeah,
I always love to say the big test is like launch it, see if people buy tickets. So, we're almost sold out for our first event. That is
that's a
that's essentially
validation
our
already.
market
Mm-hmm.
validation. And that's sort of what this our ethos is gonna be like. I know there's a lot of planning and preparation that can go into things, but um, we sort of want to give you a platform where test it, really see what it's like, get that feedback so you even know, do I kind of like this thing, what it's like
Mm-hmm.
being an entrepreneur? Like, we care more about the action. Um, we will provide some support for the planning and the preparation, but I think there's lots of groups that do that. Like, Platform will provide a lot of
And are
support
you
with that.
partnering with any other organization, or what does your team look like? Who else is part of your team?
So our team right now is very lean. It's just three people. It's me and a couple close friends, uh, Guran, Jan, and Zohair, and they'll also be at the event on Wednesday. But yeah, we've bootstrapped this thing. Like it's been,
Mm-hmm.
we've talked with some groups like Osler, the BBVA. Of course, I work at Colliers, so Colliers, and there is appetite to potentially sponsor, but I think sometimes you get money too fast and then you sort of lose sight of what exactly it is you're trying to do. So the way we're thinking right now is, stay very lean, stay bootstrap. Like even the money we raise is from ticket sales. That's
Mm.
the money we're gonna provide
Yeah, no, I wasn't
using
even thinking
grants.
of that, but thanks for mentioning that. Sometimes getting money can actually derail you. That's true.
Yeah.
But I was thinking more of the kind of ecosystem support system that your organization has. Yeah. And so, something else I like to quickly touch on. I know that the first time I talked with you, we talked about real estate.
Yeah.
So what do you do in real estate? Is there a connection to this? Was there any mindsets you built from working in real estate that is helping with this venture? Just a quick summary of that.
Yeah. So in terms of the partners, BBVA, Osler, and also in the No YYC, they've been a big supporter of us as well. And then in terms of the real estate, like what I do is office leasing. So all the time, all I'm doing is talking to companies, talking to businesses. So that also is sort of why there's a good fit. Like all I do every day is I'm sort of supporting businesses. So entrepreneurship kind of just falls in line as well. We
Mm-hmm.
focus more on the real estate side, so which companies are growing, expanding into space, but it's sort of it also falls in line of you want to pay attention to the entrepreneurship ecosystem, the innovation ecosystem, because further down the line, it's going to translate into real estate needs. But it's sort of just given me insight into what it's like to be an entrepreneur, talking to a lot of business owners and business leaders, and seeing the challenges they have to face. And this is sort of taking it a step back and really thinking about, what does it take to
Awesome.
start a company?
Yeah, I like that because if there's something I like to reiterate to people every time is that no experience is lost, no experience is wasted, and if you have extensive experience in any industry domain, that is the precursor for being the disruptor in that domain.
Yeah,
Because if you're going to be creating solutions that will challenge the status quo, you have to understand the status quo and that whatever experience you bring in from any industry, it's actually a leverage. So yeah, that's why I asked that question because I like people to think about all the seemingly disjointed things they've touched and how bringing that together can make a very wholesome output. So, well, anything that you would like to share that I have not asked you? Where can people find you? Where can people find out about your event?
Yeah, so you can follow us on LinkedIn, Orange Ventures, or our Instagram page as well. And also feel free to shoot me a connection request or a message on LinkedIn. I'll be usually pretty responsive.
And if people have questions, you can still put it in the chat. The chat connected to this event on LinkedIn, and I'm sure Abdul can find it and respond.
Yeah,
All right. Thank you so much for coming. I told you 15 minutes go by so
if
fast.
they do.
Yeah. So thank you for coming. Thanks for everyone that's joining us and everyone that's going to be watching the replay at some point. Thanks for joining us. Have a great afternoon.
Thanks, Wunmi.
Bye.
Appreciate it.